We are your home for exclusive interviews and behind the scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. This is all about Kentucky tracks, Kentucky drivers, and Kentucky fans. We eat, sleep, and breathe it anyways, so we figured why not make a podcast about it? For 11 years, we've been keeping the bluegrass covered in dirt. Now, we're doing it bigger than ever before. We are Kentucky's Dirt Racing Podcast. Welcome to another edition of Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live, presented by Smokehouse Grill and Buffet.
And welcome to a brand new edition, weekly edition of Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live. This is the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studios. This segment is sponsored by Dirtman Diecast. Be sure to check him out at your local racetrack. You can go to dirtmandiecast.com. All kinds of goodies he's got available for you, diecast race cars and all kinds of good stuff. We do appreciate all of our sponsors. You can call the show tonight. The Racetrack Connection hotline is 859-412-1287. Like to get some calls on here tonight, Wes. Last week we waited till the end. We got a few on there, but I'd like to have some people call in and join the conversation besides just in the comment section tonight.
Yeah, well, it's always good to hear from the fans and the viewers to come on and give their 2 cents on whatever topic we're talking about or questions for our drivers. It's always cool to have them to chime in and give us a call. So go ahead and call in and we'd love to hear from you tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to ask again, we've done this the last couple of weeks. It has helped a little bit. I mean, it's getting in the summer months. I know tonight, man, I went straight from cleaning vehicles to baseball practice, and everybody's running around like crazy. The weather's getting warmer, and our live viewership has been down a little bit, but the last couple of weeks I've asked people to share it, and that has helped quite a bit. So I just want to ask you again, if you don't care, if you're watching here with us, give this a share and try to get this out to some more folks. Man, I know there's got to be so many people that have never even heard of the podcast before, and we're getting into some good stuff here now as the race season, man, is just absolutely in full swing, and so we'd like to get as many people as possible as we can on here because we've got a lot of good things to get to on tonight's show. We're going to have Creed Watson on with us here in just a few minutes. He's the great nephew of Wes. We learned of the great Finn Watson, 14 years old, and he's going to be an awesome driver. Young Guns edition. Let some people get to know some of our youngest drivers here in the state. So that's going to be a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah. This is something that we've talked about as far as our young guns across the state, and what better way to start that than to reach out to Creed Watson, and really looking forward to talking to him later in the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Well, first, man, let's quickly. You had a big weekend last weekend. Unfortunately, I was stuck doing other things. Didn't have near as much fun as you had. But you had a big weekend last weekend. Tell us about it.
Had an absolute blast. Starting the weekend off at Ponderosa with Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series coming to town. Biggest crowd I have ever seen at any race that I've watched at Ponderosa. Absolute jam-packed. They was parking everywhere. Just awesome to see, and just a wonderful night of racing there at Ponderosa. Mikey Marler picks up the 12,000 to win. Had a great battle there between him and O'Neill and Overton. Just a great race. I'm going to back up. I really wish you'd have been there with me Friday night and Saturday night. I also got to make the trip to Florence, but Friday night was just really, really an awesome night, just start to finish, and got the show in by 10:45, which is pretty cool too. So hats off to Brandon Hargrove and his crew and staff there, and and you got to give a shout out. Justin Ratliff ended up winning the crates, and a stout field of crate late models. I believe there was 27.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
just
before you get to, let's talk about those support divisions too. But I got to mention, we're kind of partial. We like a lot of those national level late model drivers, but around here, and a lot of people are. There's a lot of Mike Marlar fans around here, and so it's always a popular win. He's got a lot of laps around that place, and so I'm sure being there on Friday night, you could tell that was a popular win for Mikey to take that one home.
oh yeah, that's a good point that you make there. A lot of people was picking Mikey to win Friday night, and that was a great choice because probably out of all the drivers there, he had the most laps on that track. But what impressed me was he worked lap traffic like a magician. I mean, he set the cars up. Once he got to lap traffic, he was running off and leaving O'Neill and Overton because he just played those lap cars to his advantage, and his car was phenomenal. He could go top to bottom. Wherever he wanted to put the car, he could put it, and he just ran a super smart race, and just put on a show. And it made me look good because I did pick him to get the win there at Ponderosa. So
yeah, you did, man. Well, already, I'll tell you what, already one up. Already, I had to buy you a steak dinner last year. I heard somebody was saying this past week that I owe you a steak dinner already. And listen, it ain't over with yet. We're just getting started. But you already won up. I don't owe you a steak dinner till it's all said and done at the end of the year and we tally everything up because this goes on all year. But you already won up on me by picking Marlar, which I knew when I gave you that first pick with that one, I was probably in trouble as it was. But yeah, you got that first dub under your belt there anyway. So I'm already having to dig myself out of a hole after week one.
That was definitely a good way to start the 2023 season. And what was really cool is after the race, the World Wide West was walking around the pits, talking to all the drivers. Racing was over, and I saw Davenport talking with some fans. And so I let him finish talking to them, and I went over there and I told him, I said, listen, I said, no pressure or nothing, but I said, I do a podcast, Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live. I said, I picked Mikey to win tonight, and he won. And I said, I picked you to win, tomorrow night at Florence. And he looked at me, shook my hand, and he said, well, I hope after the weekend you're batting 1,000. I said, I do too.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Unfortunately for you, it didn't work out that way. And him too, I guess. So, but
right. Yeah. He looked good early, but.
Yeah, he did.
It kind of, I don't know if he missed a setup or if his tires went away or what, but that's we can get on talking about Florence, but something I do want to mention about the entire Kentucky swing of the weekend was Michael Spanky DeSpain was your pit reporter and did an excellent job.
Yeah, he did.
I have to brag on my old buddy. But he did so good. I know he was probably a little nervous. I mean, being on the biggest stage there with Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, but
yeah,
Spanky did a heck of a job. Got to brag on him.
He definitely did. And I was sitting there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it, but the fortunate thing for me was that it was on Flow. I didn't get to go. It was on Flow, and so got to see his debut with Flow Racing there. I mean, he's been on Flow before, but with MAV TV on Flow as their pit reporter, and so that was a lot of fun seeing him. And that's something that's different for him too. I know he's spent his whole life announcing, and he's well known, but like that was something that was new for him. So I'm sure he was a little bit nervous going into that. Just a little bit different what he was doing compared to what he's used to. But he did a great job. I agree with you. He really did.
Yeah, he sure did. I talked to him both nights. I talked to him at Ponderosa before everything got going, and then also Saturday at Florence. Also got to talk to him before the racing um, program got started, and you know what? Typical Spanky fashion, I was bragging on him. He's like, just kind of playing it off, but
Yeah.
he does a super job.
Well, it's cool that he got to do that swing too, because like we think of him, James Essex, those guys nationally, but like around here, I mean, he is the voice that we all think of. I think like when it comes to dirt racing, I've said it before, but I mean, he really is the voice around here, and has been for a long time now. And so it was cool that he got to do that. That they gave him that chance there to do that. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, you got to tell us about Florence too. I know you get to go up there, and that was a lot of fun. Florence is always fun anytime you get to go up there. But
Yeah. Florence is another special place, in all of our eyes. Here in the state of Kentucky, and another packed house, another really good race at Florence. RTJ ended up picking up the W up there. O'Neill again, another great points run. He ran second, followed by Overton, and Garrett Alberson running fourth. Really, really good run for Garrett, and was happy to see him get a good run.
yeah,
He's always one that's good to talk to in the pits, and just happy to see Garrett get a good run. Um, Always cool deal to go to Florence, as I mentioned. But what was kind of special for me was my fishing partner Josh Kelly. That was the first race I'd got to take him to. Was last year to Florence, to the Fall 50, and so that race on Saturday, I took him, and then also his girlfriend's son, and that was his first race. He's 12, and so he absolutely had a blast, and I think he's hooked. I know Josh likes to root for Josh Rice, but Braden, he's leaning toward that one car. He said, I'm a Hudson O'Neill fan. So
yeah. There you go. Well, it was a good first race to go to, man, because it might have been, if not the best, definitely one of the best races so far this year. I mean, it was a really good race. I mean, just that super late model race was really good.
yeah, it was good seeing my old buddy Brian Stickrod up there, turn two crew. Love seeing you guys each and every time we go to Florence. It's special to see you all in any race we go to. Upright Racing Group, turn two crew, and I was actually sitting in turn two, and that's
Yeah.
one of the best places to watch a race at Florence, in my opinion. But yeah, Florence is special. Excellent racing surface. The race was great. Just another really good night.
Yeah, yeah, and then the modifieds put on a good show there as well, and Blake Brown ended up winning in front of that. That was a big crowd there, and that's his second win so far this year at Florence. So that was really cool to see too. But like I said, for me watching it there on Flow Racing, man, thankful for Flow and streaming on that occasion when I couldn't make it to the racetrack. But glad you had a lot of fun, and it was a good weekend for you. I know it was a good weekend for a lot of people. We get a couple weeks a year where our state's kind of in the national late model scene spotlight, with this weekend, and then of course we've got World of Outlaws coming up here in a couple of weeks, here in a little bit as well. But then the next big weekend is of course the North South weekend. We always look forward to that, and it'll be here before we know it. I can't believe it's already mid-May, but yeah, good to have that first big weekend under our belt, and glad you had a good time doing it. Rockcastle and Thunder Mountain, that's something that we've all kind of been waiting for to see. I've heard so many fans talking about it as multiple tracks get going on Saturday nights, and I think this Saturday night's really – it's going to be the real test, man, really, when it comes down to it. But last weekend, Thunder Mountain and Rockcastle both ran on Saturday night, and they both had good car counts and were able to put on a good show. So that was good to see. From what I could see, it was about equal, as far as, the car counts and everything could go. And so talked to people who went to both places and said it was really, really good for both tracks, a good night for both of those tracks. And then Mud Lick had another good night as well, and they've got a big week coming up again this weekend, like several of our tracks do, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a little bit. But the hot topic I want to talk about tonight, and we'll be brief with this, we'll kind of be quick because we're going to get to our Lives Top 5, something that's brand new here on the podcast as well. But I've heard a lot of people say, Wes, and we talked about this a little bit too, that we really would like to see some of these tracks do Friday nights, right? Because you think about just this weekend coming up, you got 4 different tracks running right here in this same area, and that is really, it's going to be tough. There's no other way, there's no other way to slice it. It's going to be difficult. The thing, though, that I say is everybody but a promoter wants to do Friday nights, and there's a big reason for it. I think if you look at Ponderosa this past weekend, other than the crate classes, because it's on a Friday night, some of those other classes were down a little bit. It's tough for people to get off work and get to the track, even drivers, when it comes to that. So as much as I would like to see it, I also understand why tracks don't do it. But I wish there was a way that it could work.
Yeah, I know it's something that you and I have talked about, because it is going to be such a tough deal as far as, drivers and car counts and making the decision, where to go, as far as like a situation like this coming Saturday, when you got all 4 tracks running and they're so close together. But I think another thing, I was looking at Friday night with those car counts being down a little bit, and I just wonder, if those guys didn't keep in mind, I'm going to want to run for points, and points are going to be a big serious deal at Thunder Mountain and Rockcastle Speedway for this year. And I just wonder if that might have been a reason that some of those guys didn't run on Friday night to save their equipment for Saturday at those respective tracks.
There could be other issues outside of that. Another thing I can tell you is people get off work on Friday night. I mean, what it comes down to not only is drivers, but also fans, and being able to get fans to a racetrack on a Friday night. And I think one key to that is in trying that, I think that there are some Friday nights at some other tracks coming up as well. But, it's like on a Friday night being able to get a show over with, that race there at Ponderosa was over with early. And all those support classes and all those late models and everything, and they did a really good job with that. That's something else that I think is important. But, like I said, it would be something that I think would be an awesome thing if some way there was something that could be worked out to where not just one track had to go to it all the time, but in the future maybe to work together and swap out those days and kind of plan ahead and work together a little bit more on that. Because like I said, it's just going to be tough on everybody, especially with four running in the same day and just the split, not only of cars, but also, like I said, fans. So, you would like to see it, but I will say this. There are some tracks running on a Friday night. Please get out and support them when they do. If you can find a way at all to do that, get out and support them, because they need to see when they do that, that it's going to work. And if a track tries that and they don't have cars, they don't have fans, it's really hard to do it again.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I was so excited to see the huge turnout. Now, granted, it was a Lucas Oil show at Ponderosa. I get it.
Yeah.
But, still to see a Friday night do as well as it did that's that's exciting to see.
Yep.
And I hope that maybe as everything kind of goes throughout this year with some Friday shows, and then maybe for next year and the years to come, some of these tracks working together and maybe working some specials out. Run a Friday night and more money for high finishers. On
Yep.
Friday night, and then you come run on Saturday night and kind of work some deals out like that between the tracks. Could be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. It really, really could be, and we've talked about some things that maybe we could possibly do to get some of that stuff going and bring people together more. Because ultimately, I mean, this is absolute truth. I mean, what we want to see is what most people want, and that is for all this to work out for everybody in the best possible way. We want to see all these tracks succeed and do their absolute best, and survive and make all kinds of money. Because at the end of the day, it's a business thing, and they put a lot of work in, and they deserve to come out as well as they possibly can, and that's what we want to see for every one of those of our racetracks, and every racetrack in the country for that matter.
Yeah.
But especially ours here in our little neck of the woods. Well, let's go ahead and get to our Live's Top 5. We promised it this week, and Wes, I said it came down to crunch time, and I wasn't ready for it because we've been busy, so we rushed and threw it together. I do want to say a few things before we announce this and put these out there. To be honest with you, we've been hesitant to do this in a sense, because it can be difficult to do that. Yes, Tyler Kelly, it's a top 5 for every class. One thing I want everybody to know is, look, we wanted to do this in a way to where it could be logical, right? And like
Right.
in some way make sense. I see a lot of lists, and there's a lot that's thrown out there all the time, it seems like, what it comes down to is there's no real rhyme or reason, or it's all opinion. We're not saying that these are it's not based on what we think as ability or who's the best. We wanted to do it based on results so far this year. The good thing about that is it's early in the year. Richmond hasn't ran a race yet. We haven't had many races. Lake Cumberland's ran one race, so there's not a lot of results to go by, so we went by the results we had.
Yeah.
I think you'll see a lot of parity with it. It's going to give us a chance to talk about a lot of race car drivers here in our area, and ultimately that's what we want to do. So that's our idea behind it. But your favorite driver might not be on there, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be on there at the end of the year, or even in a few weeks, or next week for that matter, because this is
Right.
all going to change week to week.
Yeah. Yeah. Very well said, sir.
So, well, I'm glad you agree with me. There's been a few times you haven't, so just keep it that way. As long as you're agreeing with me, we can get blown up in the comment sections, and anybody else can say whatever they want. But
Oh yeah.
because we might get some heat. But you know what? This is
Yeah.
all for the best at the end of the day. Crew chief
Angie.
top 5.
Yeah. Crew chief
Yeah.
top 5.
We would. I think it's a good idea. We could throw that out there. She'd be number 1, no doubt. So that would be a matter of opinion. We just put her at number 1.
Right.
Well, let's go ahead here. The late models, we decided in this case to throw supers, crates. There's not a lot of super races around anyway, and drivers around, but to kind of throw them into the late model 1 division here. But the top 5, Justin Ratliff at number 1, Ace Claiborne number 2. Reason for that, Wes, is very simple. They've both won multiple events this year. So they're at number 1, number 2. Jeff Watson won last week, most recently there at Rockcastle Speedway. AJ Hicks won a few weeks ago at Rockcastle, and from over at Mudlick Valley Raceway, Larry Martin Jr. won last week. So all winners. It was pretty easy for us when it comes to just using results on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was a pretty easy one.
Yeah, so I'll let you see it there again. There's your late model top five for our little top five we've got going here. Open wheel modifieds, Blake Brown there at number one. Again, Wes, early on in the year, but the results to this point speak for themselves. Blake's had a good start to the year, and then number two, same thing with Brian Barber. So far at our racetracks, and I should say this too, this is our partnered racetracks. So the 6 tracks that have partnered with us this year, we're doing results from those tracks. Hate
Yes.
to leave anyone out, but it's just it is what it is, and we'll go with what we've got. So Ben Petrie there at number 3, he's got a couple wins at Thunder Mountain Speedway this year, so deserving of that that for sure. Cole Cooper's got a couple wins over at Mud Lick Valley Raceway, and then most recently Skylar Marler at Rockcastle Speedway this past Saturday night, won in that Lightning chassis up there at the Rock. So there's your top 5 for open wheel modifieds. And then Wes, super stocks. I hated to do it. Honestly, you got the same guy at the top of open wheel modifieds and super stocks, but we talked about this, and you can't take it away from him.
No, he's been hot in both cars, and we did talk about that, but I mean, I don't know. I guess in that super stock, guys just keep digging and beat him, because right now he's been hard to handle wherever he goes.
Yeah. Yep, he really has. You're right about that, and we can't take it away from him. So
No.
dig in and figure out a way to take down that 35 car, because
Right.
it's been fast. Second, Andrew Harmon. A lot of people from closer to here, Richmond, where I'm from, might be asking, who is that? Well, one, I can tell you, the first race car I ever bought, I bought it from him. That's not why I put him at number 2. He's won a couple of events up there at Mud Lick Valley Raceway already this year. He's got a fast hot rod, and so very deserving of that number 2 spot so far this year. Third, Tyler Hayes. He won last weekend at Rockcastle Speedway. He's run second a bunch of times this year already, but got that super stock win this past Saturday night at Rockcastle Speedway. Jimmy Robinson, Wes, I don't know if you saw, but Jimmy Robinson decided to take a trip to Mud Lick Valley this past weekend and won the feature over there. So
Yeah, I saw that, and that was cool to see him go up there and run a different track on a Saturday night. So cool to see that.
yeah, absolutely. And then Logan Preston. He's there in fifth. Logan won a lot of races last year. He's won a lot of races the last several years. I'm sure he's got some coming. I actually saw him earlier today, and he said and I could verify this. He's run 3 times. He's ran second every time. But getting close and a bunch of second place finishes, the win will come. But so far in 2023, there in that 5th spot. But a good solid top 5 there. And like I said, I'm sure all this is going to shake up as the year goes about. We'll see some new names up in there as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. All I can say about Logan's, he's been consistent.
Yeah.
3 times out, 3 second place runs. Those wins will come.
Yep. He has been. Hobby stocks, our top 5, AJ Smith. I don't know AJ personally, never met him. I don't know if you have. You probably have. You're Worldwide West, but he's won a couple of races there at Thunder Mountain Speedway. And so he's at the top spot there. David Marler won Friday night at Ponderosa Speedway. I believe his first hobby stock win so far this year. And then third, Craig Stocks. We had him on the show earlier this year. Again, we're not biased. It's not why we put him on there. He won the only hobby stock feature so far at Lake Cumberland Speedway. Bo Gilly won earlier this year at Thunder Mountain, and then Randy Hacker also won a feature earlier this year as well. So that's your top 5 there in hobby stocks. Hornets, Clint Cox, number one. Well, that may be the easiest one of them all because I swear he's won every race he's been in, I believe, so far this year, and so a pretty clear number one so far for us there with Clint Cox. He won the night we were at Rockcastle and got a chance to talk to him in Victory Lane, so that was neat. Eric Parton is a feature winner so far this year at Thunder Mountain. And then the rest of these, again, Thunder Mountain's they've been running these guys and several different feature winners there. So it's part of why this top five is what it is, to be honest with you. But Chris Meyer, Frankie King Jr., and Eric Deering, all feature winners at Mud Lick Valley Raceway this year. So there's your like I said, Wes, your very, very first live's top five. So and I think we'll see some shake-up in all that as time goes and we get some events in at some of these places that haven't got to race much this year yet anyways.
Yeah, and it's really cool to look at, really look at it and say, let's narrow down the top five because we have so many good drivers in all of those classes. And to actually pull from the 6 tracks that we are partnering with this year, it's just going to be really fun. And, we want that to be fun for the drivers and the fans alike. And, it gives them something to, the drivers especially, gives them something to work for and, kind of a competition between all the drivers in their class, throughout our 6 tracks. So, yeah, just a cool deal, and we're going to have fun with it as well.
Yeah, it does, and I'm glad you said this, John. John Holiday, the photographer extraordinary, does a great job. He's got some pictures up from this past weekend as well, so check them out. He says, I think fans should be able to vote. I agree with that, John. I would agree with that, but here's why I disagree. If you let fans vote and choose it, honestly, we've done that before. What ends up happening is it's not based on anything. It's just whoever pushes it the most to get the most votes or whoever the favorite, and then in that case, we might as well just call it the, most popular driver award.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it'd be a cool thing to add that in some way, but it's just really, it's hard to do that because it's not, then it's just most popular driver. So
I agree.
That's the reason I don't do that. But otherwise, I agree. I would like to find a way, maybe toward the end of the year, to work that in some way, but it not be the whole thing. So, yeah, don't want to do that, and that's the reason why. So we'll continue this on. Wes is going to gather results for us every week, and sometimes those can be hard to find too. I'm going to warn you up front, Wes, but I think you can handle it because you're worldwide, Wes.
I'll do my best.
Prestige worldwide. Prestige worldwide.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to a quick commercial break, pay some bills here on the podcast, and when we come back, we're going to have 14-year-old, the sensation, Creed Watson, with us here on the podcast. Give us just a few minutes. We'll be right back with you, and we're really looking forward to having him on here with us.
Racetrack Connection is a social media app designed specifically for racing. On the app, you can find a track, find a driver, review and print track schedules, and use the chat feature to communicate with other fans and drivers at any event. There's even a map feature where you can locate racetracks all across the U.S., plus many other features, all for free. Download the Racetrack Connection app today. Donnie Kaufman used to say, "It's good enough to make your tongue slap your brains out, honey." That's what we think about the home cooking at Smokehouse Grill and Buffet in Berea. Choose from the delicious options on their home-style buffet and salad bar or order from the full menu. Not to mention their desserts and some of the best breakfast you'll ever eat. We promise you'll never be disappointed with this racing family-owned business. Visit their friendly staff and grab a bite to eat. Located just off exit 77 in Berea.
Hi there, I'm Alan Feldhouse Jr., head basketball coach at Madison Central High School. Here at MCHS, we have built a winning team. And I'd like to tell you about another local winning team, family-owned and operated Bluegrass Restoration and Construction. They specialize in roofing, general construction, and home maintenance services. Just like on the court, you need a team that will work together to get the job done. And that's exactly what BRC does. Give them a call at 859-353-1133. Row Tribe.
And welcome back to the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studio. This segment of the podcast is sponsored by the Detail Shop. We are now joined by Creed Watson. Creed, buddy, we really appreciate you. This is our first Young Guns edition. We've talked about doing this for a long time. Glad to start with you, man, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead, Wes.
We just thought it was fitting because of what happened this past weekend with you jumping in the car on Saturday morning, practicing a couple hours, never had been in a car before, and then actually going to Rockcastle and racing. So we thought, heck, let's see if we can't get him on and kind of get your story out there and talk to you tonight, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like you're exactly. It was kind of fitting. It really worked out for us. I mean, because we've got to get to this Young Guns thing. I think it'll be an awesome deal just to get some of our youngest drivers in the state of Kentucky in front of fans and to be able to talk to them, because you guys are the future of our sport, no doubt. And who knows, man? Wes, we might just be sitting here tonight talking to the next superstar, national name. You just never know. After that outing on Saturday night, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. I'll just be honest with you.
I'm right there with you. Really impressive for what he did in a short amount of time in the car. So that's a very good possibility. And at such a young age, him being 14, he could be the next superstar.
Yeah, he could be. I'm with you, and he's definitely. Somebody mentioned here Howard Daniel. He said, ask his nickname. Somebody else said that. I think it was Tyler Kelly said he liked his hair. He's a fan already. Yeah, I mean, with a mullet like that, I've always wished I could pull that off. Mine just like grows. I try to grow my hair like grows straight out, so I never could pull it off. Man, with a mullet like that, you keep that thing around, you're destined to be a superstar. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to ask you. We'll ask that first, since Daniel. What is your nickname? We know your brother's. It's C Puddin'. What's yours?
Yeah. So we were at Junction one night, and I had shorts on, and I'm a skinny guy, so he went up to me and said, "What's up, little legs?" So that's stuck ever since.
Okay.
Little legs.
Little legs. We might have to change that to fast legs. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. Well, sixth place, as Wes said, in your first race Saturday at the Rock. Creed, I've got to ask you: Did you think going out there on Saturday night, I'm going to go out here and smoke on my first night out? Was that how you envisioned this thing playing out?
No, I had no clue. I really didn't even know. I was struggling to put it in high gear. I mean, everything.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge for you then wasn't necessarily on the racetrack. I could imagine. I'd have that same struggle. I'm sure it was getting it in high gear then.
Yeah.
Just to get the thing rolling. Well, I've heard some racers say that been around it for so long. I know you've been around it for a long time. Of course, it's in your bloodline, man. You are the great nephew of one of the most legendary drivers to ever exist, in Finn Watson. Of course, with Jeff, and man, just the whole Watson, your brother, the whole Watson family. I mean, racing is certainly in your bloodline. I hear a lot of people say, I've heard drivers say this, that they've been in the sport for so long that by the time they started driving, had been around it for so long that by the time they started driving, it almost just sort of came natural to them. It was almost like they just knew by being around it so much what to do or how to drive the car. Did it feel that way for you being out there on Saturday? Did you feel that comfortable?
Towards the end, it was really comfortable because my car was handling like really, really good, and it just came really easy towards the end.
That's awesome. Kind of go through how all that happened. Going and practicing Saturday morning at Ponderosa.
So Howard Daniel let us in, and I was really nervous. And so my dad, he went out and shook it down, make sure everything was good, and he was trying to find the breaking point of it. So I went out there, and it was a little tight. So we put my front right rear tire was like really soft, and so we put a harder tire on it, so it made me not tight. And so I just went out there and I spun it a couple times. I was afraid of the wall, so I didn't drive it that.
I don't blame you I'll just tell you that wall at Ponderosa, to be honest with you, can be intimidating when you're coming up on it. So I don't blame you there at all. And that's a concrete wall. That sucker don't move. So I wouldn't want to hit it either.
I was turning faster laps than my dad.
So you go out there and Dad shakes the car down like he's gonna go out here and show you how, and then you go out and you turn faster laps than he does, and he says, "Well, son, I think we're ready for Rockcastle Saturday night." Is that about how it went?
Pretty much. My mom was a little skeptical about it. I bugged her, and she finally let it go.
I can imagine Mom is skeptical. That's kind of the norm. So was she able to watch Saturday night? Did she watch the whole thing? Was she hiding behind the trailer, hiding in the trailer? What was going on with her when you were making your first start?
I didn't really know at the time, but when it was over, she was screaming and giving me big hugs and all that stuff.
So
pretty proud of you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So being 14, you still like you enjoy hugs from Mom, or you kind of like mom stop. What's that? I know it's kind of an age where that changes a little bit. I don't know. What was that like? You still enjoy the post race hugs from Mom, hopefully.
It was a little aggravating, but one every now and then is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you got to cut her a break. She lets you out there, so she deserves a hug, and you deserved it after that first outing, man. That was pretty cool to see for sure.
Now, Creed, I've heard from several people throughout Campbellsville that you ain't scared of nothing, and neither is any of your brothers, and you all have rode four wheelers and dirt bikes your whole life, and just jumping in a race car, that's nothing. It's just like, let's go, let's do it. Is that true?
Yeah, I've always wanted to race anything, but I really wanted to race dirt bikes. But my dad said I wasn't allowed to race anything without a roll cage, so I really wanted to race early on. Like I was wide open since I was 2, and it just stuck.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, I mean, I tell you, like I'm not even kidding. With a mullet like that, I'm jealous of it. I think you could race anything. You could race dirt bike, go kart, late model, buddy. Put you in anything, and you'd be fast. There's no doubt in my mind, especially after seeing you on Saturday night. But yeah, I'm sure it was something that came more natural for you than it. It never came natural for me, Wes. Unfortunately, I don't have. I guess I don't have that same bloodline as Creed has. So we haven't found out about you yet. Wes is still. He's hoping to be an up and coming driver as well. He's still trying to figure out how he's going to get on the racetrack. So one of these days, maybe you could tell him how to, where to brake and where to turn and all that good stuff.
Listen, I'm waiting on that opportunity. I'm hoping it comes sooner than later. I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the track and go for a little practice session on Saturday morning and get turned loose on Saturday night.
Yeah, you're a few years past 14 though, man. We can't put you in the young gun section.
No,
You
no.
you'd have to be a savvy veteran when you go out. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, well, like I said, it has been a long time since I was 14. I don't know about you, Wes, but I can't hardly remember being 14. To be honest with you, I had to
No,
think
it's
about it
that's
pretty
that's
hard.
been that's been a while back now.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to get an idea of what it's like to be a 14-year-old, today, because for me that was like 20 years ago. Man, it's been a long time, and a lot of things have changed. I'm sure. I've got a 7-year-old right now, so I've got 7 more years. I'm sure I'll find out for myself soon enough. So I just want to ask you a few questions, not related to racing, just as a young gun to know what life is like being a youngster in today's time. So these are totally random. What's your favorite song right now?
Favorite song? Probably "Wasted on You" by Morgan Wallen.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's one I can understand right there. But see, Creed grew up at a dirt track, and he's got a nice mullet, so he's not going to be too far off from what we are anyway. I've got a
Right.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wes, what was your favorite song when you were 14?
That's been so long ago, I can't remember.
I mean, you could throw something out there. What about around that time when you was a kid? You in what grade you in, Creed?
I'm in eighth.
Okay, so you
Eighth
in middle
grade.
school. What was Worldwide West jamming to in eighth grade?
In eighth grade.
Probably
Probably. What
Johnny
was you gonna say? Probably some Johnny Cash. Yeah, Johnny Cash. Yeah, Alan Jackson.
I hear
George
the train
Strait.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's rolling around the bend.
That's right. Yeah, George Strait. Well, I guess middle school, mine would have been like Kid Rock, Eminem. I was kind of gangster too. You wouldn't believe it, but I mean,
Well, it
the throw.
depended on if I was playing basketball. I mean, I was. It was
Yeah.
gangster. It was
Oh,
DMX, Snoop Dogg, Coolio. I mean, yeah, you
We
wouldn't
were
think
all
that
like-
out of World Wide West.
Yeah,
but
we were
when I was
all like
playing
half
basketball,
gangster.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were all like half gangster, or thought we were back then. Anyways, did you ever have the Paco jeans? Had it?
I ain't never heard of
me,
it.
no,
I know
No.
you ain't heard, or is it Paco, or was that? I know you ain't
Yeah.
heard of them, Creed. That's way before your time, buddy. I'm talking like 1990s, and
yeah. Mom
Yeah.
and Dad wouldn't let me wear Paco jeans.
okay. Well, I had some, and I'm sure some of our listeners, maybe if you're around my age, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and so anyways, but yeah, things have changed for sure. What kind of video games do you play?
On Xbox, I only play this it's like iRacing and Monster Energy came together and made like a game, and you can have a steering wheel. It's just like iRacing. It's like the cheap version of it.
Yeah,
There's crates and open wheels on there.
yeah.
Me
No,
and Josh play that too.
oh yeah, we
We've got that.
hey, we play no shame in the
No.
cheap version of iRacing. We ain't got time to do all the the fancy stuff, but we do have I've got a PlayStation. I guess Wes has got an Xbox. But
I got an Xbox.
yeah, but no, we know all about some World of Outlaws. That's it's a fun game. What's your favorite class to run in that World of Outlaws game?
Supers.
Supers. Mine's
Yeah, I'm with
mine's the open wheel modifieds right now. I'm
Yeah.
hard to handle in the open wheel.
Yeah, I like the supers. I do like the open wheels too. They're fun. All of them are a little bit different, but man, that game is a lot of fun. It can be addicting too, especially with that career mode and working your way up. So, how far are you into it, Creed? What you got?
I've maxed out supers and crates.
Okay.
He's played it a lot if he's maxed out the supers. That's big money to get all the
Yeah, man.
buy all those engine upgrades and the tires.
I
Yeah,
know.
you've played it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing about being 14 years old too, man. Live it up, take
Enjoy it
advantage
while
of
you
it.
can.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because I remember thinking I can't wait till I get older and all that. Man, I'd love to just play some World of Outlaws, and when I was his age, I'd play all night, and not a care in the world. So live it up while you can, for sure. That's my advice to you. Do you play any sports? Anything? What do you do outside of racing?
I play basketball and golf.
Okay,
Basketball and golf. Good deal.
all right, gotcha. So I guess basketball season's over with for you this year. You doing is golf like is that going on right now, or is it over with too?
Ball.
In the fall.
Okay, I got you. What position do you play basketball?
Point guard, shooting
Oh,
guard.
I got you. So you got some handles, can throw it around, dish it out, score a little bit of scoring too. Well, I like it. Wes, what position did you play?
I played center.
Okay.
Yeah. I was always the biggest kid on the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah. I was always the smallest, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't
You
play
looked-
center.
Yeah.
I'm like Creed.
Yeah. You stayed out. You might have played point guard.
Yeah, when you're small, like you gotta learn to use speed to get around you big guys.
Yeah.
Quickness and speed, blow by. So
Yeah, if you come in the lane on me and I was guarding you, you wouldn't got a shot up.
you'd be laying on the floor. I'd pull you out to the 3-point line and break your ankles and leave you standing.
I'd steal it and shoot a layup on the other end.
Creed, you could take him, don't you think? I think you make him look silly. That's what I think.
Hopefully.
Yeah, at his age, I hope you would. No kidding. Well, we need to set
might
this
have
up.
we might have to set this up. You got a ball go out at your house, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We might need to. I might need to lace up the ball shoes, and we might need to see about this.
you ain't far from it, but here's the thing, Creed. We need to set this up. We need to plan it a time, but it has to be recorded. Somebody's got a video.
We'll
of this on
let
their
Colin.
phone.
We'll let Colin video
Okay.
it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Game on. All right. So who's got? Somebody tell me in the comments, say who's got Worldwide West and how many points does he score? They're going to play. They're going to play a game to. What are you going to? 12. I don't want to be too hard on you, Wes. You
12.
yeah.
12. I was
I'd
going
say
to say 24x4, but I'm old school.
No.
We can play the 12.
you can't handle 24 anyway. Not against him. He'll run you all over that place. We got to keep it at 12. How many points does Wes score? Somebody tell me. Well, you got Creed. We'll let you go for. How many points he going to score on you?
Probably 6.
6. Oh.
See that?
So
ain't
I'm going
bad.
to get beat 12-6. Is that what he's saying?
I like over under 8. I think I'm gonna go with 4.
4.
It's make it take it too, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we
it's-
playing 2s and 1s, or we playing 3s and 2s? I mean, till 12, we just need to play 1s and 2s.
Twos.
Okay.
well, I was gonna try to make it easy on you. We don't want to get the oxygen mask out. I was gonna go 2s and 3s, but hey, whatever you want to do. But still, I'm giving you 4
Look here.
max. Oh,
Tyler says I'll be out of air by the time I get to 6.
yeah. He won't have time to get out of air.
And
Creed's
Ken-
gonna smoke
Ken
him.
says I'm gonna pull a hammy.
Yeah.
Well, this ain't sounding good, guys. I mean, they don't have no faith in me, Josh.
Yeah, I don't either. So I don't blame him, but yeah, I think he'll beat you so quick you won't have time to get out of air. So yeah, I'm going 12-4. The game will take all of a minute 30 seconds. Make it take it, and it's going to be over with. But we got to get that on record anyway. It's got to be on video. So
Yeah,
don't
have
go
to.
skipping out trying to So, yeah. Well, that's all my random questions that I've got for him, Wes. I'm looking forward to watching him. I know that this year and into the future. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. You got anything else for him while we've got him on here? You're over with him in
always,
Campbellsville.
always have something. So after the night what did Colin and Jeff have to say to you?
Jeff, or when I was practicing, we were sending videos to our little group chat we have. It's me, my dad, and Colin and Jeff. And he thought it was my dad racing. He didn't think it was me. He said if this is Creed, he definitely needs to go to the Rock.
Well, and that's what happened. So
Mm-hmm.
now was Colin proud of you?
Yeah, Colin was. We made a bet this Saturday at Richmond. Said if I pass him, I get to drive his car.
Oh, okay.
Well, I figured they would be a little smack talking there between little brotherly love and you know, and so quick. I mean, Creed sat in the seat one time, raced one night, and he's already dishing it out to Big Brother. I love it.
Yeah. I love it too. So do you think with that bet going on, is he going to help you going into Richmond, or you think Colin, has he run Richmond many times? I don't know if he's.
Yeah, he's ran quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, so he would have some pointers, but I'm not so sure that he's going to give you many with the chance to drive that car.
Look here, Collins chimed in. He said, "Hopefully this bet doesn't bite me in the butt." So
yeah.
Well,
After
you've already opened that
Saturday,
door up, so I don't know. And we heard it here, so it's official.
It is. It's official. Yep. So well.
And Creed, I would say that Jeff probably told you just whatever you do, if you get the car, wrapped, don't put no green on it.
No. And my number, it was 25. That was my dad's first number, but Lisa Kearns Realty, she sponsored me, so they all call me Buckshot because I kill deer and turkeys and stuff. So my number's gonna be 00 for standing for Buckshot.
00.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
That'll work.
I like it.
Now is that car in the works? We're gonna get a new wrap on it pretty soon.
Yeah. Wrap Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, and who's gonna wrap that car for you?
Walt Swafford.
Yeah, I already had the inside scoop. Me being Worldwide West, I already knew it. We bowled last night together, so I already had the inside scoop. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Walt Swafford. Love you, big guy.
And I also like to thank all my sponsors. So I got Michael Watson Plumbing, Pro Services, Allen Pest Control, Feed Blenders, Lisa Kearns Exit Realty. And thank y'all for all that.
Yeah, and to be continued. He's going to have – look, that's a sponsor list, but it ain't going to end there. I can tell you that right now. He's going to have quite a few more coming up. So, really, really has been awesome to have you on tonight, Creed, our very first Young Gun edition. It's been a lot of fun talking to you and getting to know what it's like to be a 14-year-old in 2023, because it's been a long time for both of us. And I'm sure a lot of people on here watching and listening with us. Like I said, it's been a whole lot of fun, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend and the rest of this year. We'll certainly be following along and rooting for you for sure.
I also like to thank big thanks to Jeff Watson too for helping me out.
Yeah, you got some good help there for sure.
You sure do. You've got several good people there in your corner, and you've mentioned all three of them with your dad, Colin, and Jeff. I mean, that's a great support class right there, and heck, they might even be coaching me, put me in the car and run a couple of laps. So I would take those three to help me.
He can keep dreaming anyway. So yeah, sounds good. Creed, we'll see you this weekend, hopefully at Richmond. I'm looking forward to seeing you there in person, and hopefully I'll be there if everything works out, and we'll wish you the best of luck, buddy.
All right, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you, Creed. Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, Creed Watson, man. Maybe you know what? I'm a little biased here, but I think that might be one of my favorite conversations so far. Love seeing those youngins get in these race cars and do like that. That is just so cool. I mean, it really truly is. We need that and more of it in our sport.
Yeah, and just the the racing background in his family that he has, but just a cool story to say, let's see what happens. Let's jump in the car, let's practice. And it just worked out that his dad was comfortable enough to, pull the trigger and let him go. So, just a cool story, and we wish him the best of luck the rest of this year.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and go to the Racetrack Connection hotline. We do have a caller on the line.
All right.
Go ahead first, please. Tell us who you are.
Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith.
Hey, buddy.
Yes, sir. Hey, let me tell you guys something. You was talking about the brothers racing together. AJ and TJ is my son. I don't think y'all want to be in a house with two boys that race together. I really don't, especially in the same class.
I can imagine that's interesting for sure. So I imagine that Colin and Creed are probably pretty calm and helpful. But if you had two super competitive guys, I mean, it has to be interesting at times, I'm sure. And then throw you in the mix.
We run. I'm not the coolest person when it comes to that, but my boys, we run second and third weekend before last at Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
And the boys get out of the car and they say, that was the most fun they've had in the car, racing against each other hard.
Yeah.
But as a parent standing by and watching, you're like, man, if he gets into him, he's going to tear something up. They're going to be mad. And we've had those episodes before, but those. I just want to call in and let you guys know that, and tell y'all I appreciate the spotlight and what y'all are putting on the local racers, and getting everybody out there, the tracks and stuff. And I mean, they are doing our local racing. It's phenomenal to be around in the local group there where we're at.
Yeah.
It's some real good racing, and we appreciate what you guys are doing to get the sport out there, and the smaller guys, that's working Monday through Friday to get their stuff to the track on Saturday. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling, man, and thank you for saying that. We appreciate you saying that. Have a good evening, buddy. We'll hopefully see you at the racetrack this weekend. You got plans coming up this weekend?
We don't. The boys ain't made their mind up where they're going yet this weekend, but they'll be together somewhere. That's all I can say for sure.
I got you, man. Well, sounds good.
How? What's the age difference in your boys?
TJ is 17 and AJ is 20.
Okay, I thought they was pretty close, and that makes it that much harder because they're closer to the same age. Colin and Creed's got a pretty good amount of years between them, so which could also make it very competitive too. I'm not saying that, but when you're pretty close in age, that makes it that much more competitive between the two of you. So awesome. We appreciate the call in, and definitely enjoy watching your boys race. And they race hard and they work hard on their cars. And I've seen them in action, here at our tracks, and just enjoy watching them race.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Right. Y'all have a good night.
You too, buddy.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you
again for calling. All right, so hey, look, Wes, another episode down, and we didn't go a whole show without somebody calling the hotline. So the thing works, and that's certainly good to see. We do have a couple of important things we need to get to before we wrap this thing up. Again, we are trying to get through it a little quicker. We want to make sure we don't stay on too long. I know it's Wednesday night and people got a lot of stuff to do, but we've got some important stuff to get to here. A big weekend coming up. Man, it's going to be absolutely, if jam-packed has ever been a thing that is true, it's that this weekend here in Central Kentucky. So just a racing outlook for this weekend. That is not the right. That is last weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So now
better.
there we go. We've got the correct one up now for May 13th. The Finn Watson Memorial coming up at Richmond Raceway. 7,500 to win Southern All-Star late model. So it'd be good to see that series in action. Bring some of those drivers in, and then some of our locals around as well to mix it up there at the Beast of the East on Saturday night. $7,500 to win. Plus pro late models, open wheel modified, super stocks, Hornets. You can find more information there by going to their Facebook page or their website as well on that event. A lot of things that we can't fit on this little flyer, but they've got a lot of stuff going on there as well. Saturday night at Rockcastle Speedway, regular points race there. They'll have pro late models, open wheel modified, super stocks, hobby stocks, mini stocks, and Hornets. First time running hobby stocks there at Rockcastle Speedway, and Wes, two big another big event there coming up at Lake Cumberland Speedway as well.
Yeah, 2,000 to win pro late models. May Mania is what they're calling this show on Saturday, May 13th. Also on the card, open wheel modified, super stocks, hobby stocks, and front wheel drive mini stocks. And then Mudlick Valley Raceway, super late model special, 2,500 to win, super late models, open wheel modified, sport mods, KDRA super stocks, and 4 cylinders.
Yeah, and that's actually I saw just today. Sorry to cut you off there, but I just saw today. I believe that is up to 3,500 to win now for late models. So it's gone up a little bit. They've had a few sponsors throw some more money on that. So definitely a good thing for them. Heck, who knows? It may be up to 50,000 to win by Saturday. But either way, 3,500. That's a good show for them there. They run super late models on a weekly basis. So it'll be a good show for them. Their first big event for them as new track owners and promoters, and so we really wish them the best and all of our racetracks this weekend, man. It's just absolutely wherever you choose to go somewhere, flip a quarter if you have to, whatever you want to see. There's plenty of variety to go around, and go out and support your local racetracks. If you can figure out a way to be 2 or 3 places at once, do that. I haven't figured out yet, but I'd like to.
Yeah, we try. We wish we could cut ourselves into 4s or 6s so we be able to go to all of our tracks, and we're gonna make our way to all 6 of them this year, and we support them all, and we hope that you all go somewhere this weekend and support our local tracks, because they need the support, and we want to show that to them.
Yep, I agree. They do, and I like what Tyler Kelly said. He said they're all our home tracks, and
absolutely they are.
That's absolutely the truth, and we want to see them. We want to see them all succeed and prosper and have some great racing. Well, one last thing here, Wes, before we get off the podcast. We've been forgetting up to this point. We did it last week. You're up 1-0 on me, but. This week we're going to pick the winners again. We've got some variety for you, so we're not just doing late models. We're going to try to do all tracks in every class that we can possibly get to. So let's go ahead and get started. I will let you, since you're up 1-0, you deserve it. I'm going to let you have first pick. Southern All-Stars at Richmond, late models, 7,500 to win. Who's going to win it?
That's a tough choice.
Yeah, because part of this is too knowing who's going to be where. You know what I mean? Like part of it's a guessing game of knowing who's going to be showing up. So
it makes it tough because you really don't know who's going to show up. It's tough if you make a decision and then that driver don't show up for whatever reason. Due to mechanical issues or just scheduling. They may go somewhere else or something may come up. The decision I'm going to make for the Southern All-Star shows at Richmond, I'm going with the Rooster, Dustin Linville. Looked really good at Ponderosa. Was making some strides in the feature. I think he pulled off to save his equipment there late, but I think he gets the win there at the Beast of the East. Right
Yeah,
there.
I tell you what, man. I'm sitting here just laughing because I promise you, I'm not making it up, and we don't tell each other who's going to pick
no.
who. We don't talk about it, but I swear you take my first pick every time. It never fails. You take my pick, and I think that's a good one. He actually won this race a year ago. So definitely a good pick there. I think, and again, a lot of this comes down to who's going to be where, whether or not these guys show up or who shows up. I'm going to go with Zach Dome at Richmond, just in hopes. I think he'll be there, and if he does, I think he's a good choice to bring home the win. So I'll go with Zach Dome to hold down the fourth there at the Beast of the East.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. But you just never know. I mean, that's one of his favorite tracks to run. He runs really good there at Richmond, but it kind of surprised me. He did run Ponderosa on Friday night, but he didn't make the trip on up to Florence and run on Saturday. So I don't know what the reasoning was on that. So hopefully he makes the trip down to Richmond this weekend, and that's a good pick.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I always laugh at you and your brick wall. I'm sitting here seeing myself, and my like half my face keeps the dirt race and the bluegrass lives blending in. So I'm kind of disappearing myself here tonight. But yeah, you're right. 3,500 at Mud Lick so far. Like I said, that's what they're up to.
Yeah.
You got the first pick. I'm going to take this one. You prepared for this, Wes, because this is tough. I mean, because like I said, you just don't know who's going to be there. But I'm going to go with Derek Fisher at Mud Lick. He's already got a feature win there this year, and I think he'll bring home the big money over there.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I did have Fisher on my bingo card, but I'm going to go with Bill Sheets.
Okay.
To get the win, and take home the 3,500. And that's another race. Who knows who's going to show up if they keep up in that amount of money. So we'll see.
He's a good one. He's got a feature win there already this year. So he's local there and runs there, and so he'll be a contender for sure. All right, hobby stocks at Lake Cumberland Speedway. Back to you, Wes. Let you go first on this one. Who's going to win the hobby stock feature this weekend at Lake Cumberland Speedway?
I'm going to go with. Man, this is tough. Mm-hmm. This is really tough because that class. That is one of my favorite classes right now across our tracks here in the state of Kentucky. Man, that's a tough decision. I'm going to go with David Marlar to get the win in the 57 this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good pick for sure. No doubt, David's always good in that and fun to watch in that hobby stock. All these guys are. I agree with you. It's really one of the most fun classes out of them all, and I always enjoy it. You got to stay to watch the hobby stock feature. It's just so much fun. I think I'm going to go with Craig Stocks. He's already won. He's going to go 2 for 2 so far at Lake Cumberland Speedway. That's my pick, and I think he gets it done. And I get I think after this weekend, I'm gonna come out of this thing and I'm gonna be in the lead. And you're gonna be looking up to me after this weekend. You're gonna be chasing me, buddy.
That's just, man, that class is so tough to call. The racing is so good. I would love to get in a hobby stock and race and beat and bang with those guys. I really would. That is become one of. I mean, honestly, that's one of the greatest classes that we've got running right now, and man, it's the racing is just so good. I love the hobby stock division.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. So looking forward to this weekend. Like I said, get out, support your local racetrack wherever you decide to go. They're all our home track, as Tyler Kelly said. I truly agree with that. Thank you all so much for watching us here. tuning in with us. It's been a lot of fun talking to Creed, and just really been another fun show. I do want to go ahead as always, and well, you know what, Wes, I always do this. I want to let you do it. You go ahead and thank our sponsors, our proud sponsors here on the podcast. We're truly grateful for each and every one of them.
Yes, we are, and they help us do what we love and enjoy, and we're just so thankful and appreciative for them. Smokehouse Grill and Buffet, Racetrack Connection, Bluegrass Restoration, The Detail Shop. I can barely see your. I can't see it. Extreme Signs and Graphics, Fast Track, Ultimate Series, Dirtman Diecast, CT Promotions, Mudlick Valley Raceway, Richmond Raceway, Rock Castle Speedway, Thunder Mountain Speedway, Lake Cumberland Speedway, Ponderosa Speedway, Ironman Late Model Series, and the Ironman Bruce Built Open Wheel Modified Series. So thank you so much for all of our sponsors and our tracks. We thank you all so much, and we love doing this. Have so much fun doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm with you, and we couldn't do it without all them, and love to see this thing continue to grow, racing continue to grow, and we really got a good thing going here, and just want to see that continue. As far as I'm just talking about racing in general, overall here in our little area. So thank you all so much for tuning in with us here this evening. We've got a lot of people that watch it every week, and we're very appreciative of them as well. You can always catch the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. It has been another fun show. Thank you for tuning in with us. We will see you this weekend somewhere. We've got plenty of options at the races. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you all. Good night.